Hi everyone, welcome to the road trip. Today we're going to look at a 1939 Lincoln Zephyr 4-door sedan convertible. And we have the owner, Steve. Steve,
Hey.
Thanks for showing us your car.
My pleasure.
This is a really pretty car.
Thank you.
When I heard you had one, I knew what it was, but I didn't realize how pretty the car really is. I didn't know it was in this color. What color? Is there a name for this color?
Yes, and I like to be able to tell you that I know every little detail, so I grab my little handy-dandy book that has all the information.
Yes.
And the actual color is called NEMA, N-E-E-N-A-H cream, which I've never heard of before.
Nina cream. It can't just be called cream or
Yeah,
yellow.
to me it should be just cream, but I guess they put a fancy name on everything.
It's a Lincoln, so it's got to be something fancy.
Exactly.
I love the lines of this car. I mean, everybody loves the Zephyr. If you're into cars, you're into this car. But this is a 4-door sedan convertible, which I've never seen. I've seen a lot of 3 windows. I've seen some convertibles, but never a 4-door sedan convertible. Do you know how many they made or how many are left?
Well, they only made 302 of these out of the 2-door coupes, the 2-door convertibles, and the 4-door sedan convertible. They made less of these than any other model for that year. And there's, I believe, 9 or 10 of them that are known to still exist.
Wow. And this is a V12. Were all of them V12s?
Yes, they were.
So that was a Zephyr thing?
That was a Zephyr thing.
Love the grill.
Yeah, they were known for their Art Deco look. That was, you know, I've always been attracted to Art Deco looks. I grew up loving movies from the 30s, late 20s and 30s,
yes,
which is about as Art Deco as you can get. And I would look at the furniture, the buildings, and especially the cars on the streets, and I was just attracted to that, and I still am to this day.
Love the Lincoln Zephyr emblem here on the side of the hood. Is that red? Is that reflective? It looks reflective.
Yeah, it is. It actually is reflective.
And the strips, chrome strips. Let me take a quick look at the driver's side here. Beautiful, beautiful car. Could you open this door and maybe I could take a peek at that dash?
Absolutely. Yeah, the 39 Zephyrs are known for their dashboard. That is their hallmark, their calling card.
This pod in the middle, they were all like this?
Yes, they were.
And you've got gauges around the outside of the instruments.
And then you have what they call the waterfall that goes down from the console all the way down to the floor. What's unusual is the shifter actually comes out of the side of the center console. It's not mounted where you see it on the floor. It comes out of that little, compartment on the side, which is very unusual. I've never known another car that does that.
You know what? I don't think I have ever seen that before. It's unusual. Does it work well? Is it?
Oh yeah, it shifts very well. Yeah. The thing I have to get used to is the starting position, the starting procedure, because you have to turn the key, you throw a switch over, and then push the starter button, and those 3 things are what allows you to start the car.
Is that what's on the right here? Those 3 buttons?
Yes. Yeah, so no, right here. So you have the ignition key. You throw this button over to this position, okay, and push this starter button right there.
Okay. What is this here? Is this glove box?
There's basically 2 glove boxes, one on either side.
And what is that little box there?
Well, you have 2 ashtrays. On one of the options on these cars that this does not have is a radio. So if the car had the radio, it would be right here where this ashtray is.
Okay. And the other side is the ashtray.
That is. So basically you have 2 glove boxes and 2 ashtrays in this car.
Wow. I see these brown looking buttons, these 2 buttons on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty neat.
What's interesting is I have a 39 2-door convertible that's being restored, and when I bought that car, those 4 buttons, there were aftermarket buttons that didn't match, and I actually found a company in Pennsylvania that remanufactures those exact ones, and I bought a set for the other one, and they match perfectly to this car.
Really? It goes well with the interior.
Yes, in this case, with that color interior, it does.
What is there a name for this? It just looks brown to me.
It's just, I don't know that there's a name for that color interior.
It goes well with the outside color.
Yes, and being a simple person, I just call it brown.
This is the handbrake?
Handbrake right there, yes.
And your pedals. Is this a 3-speed?
3-speed. Yeah, the one thing that this car didn't have would have been turn signals. So they were added, and they added this little toggle switch. So if I toggle it to either side, that is what operates the blinkers.
Wow, how about that?
I figured, you know, I know the hand signals for getting the car through inspection, but I worry about being in traffic. You know, if I want to turn, I'm sticking my hand out, somebody might think I'm waving and not understand that I'm trying to turn. So yeah. I was happy that when I bought the car, it had those turn signals already on it. I did not have to install those.
Can we open up the back door?
Absolutely.
This is really nice back. There's a lot of room. Check out these armrests. And the foot pads down here on the floor.
Yep.
Very nice. You got the strap here, I guess, for a blanket or whatever you want to hang on.
Exactly.
What is that in the middle? That courtesy light?
Yes, that is a courtesy light. And there's a cigarette lighter in the middle down below.
Is that what that is?
That's what that is.
Wow.
Everybody smoked back then.
Yeah, it was a thing to do.
That's right.
I noticed that they covered the mechanics of the roof back here.
Yes.
Just so that you didn't have to look at the hardware.
That is correct.
And this is definitely a world-class blind spot.
Yes.
You can't see squat out the back.
I've noticed that on the occasions that I drive the car. The big concern is when you're out on the road in a car like this, people want to look at it, so they tend to pull up on you, and you see them coming in the rearview mirror, and then you can't see them anymore.
I see you do have a mirror on the right side there.
Yes, and that is a very important feature to have.
It's a little bit hiding behind the post there.
Yep. If I lean back, I can see cars coming up on the other side.
You got one here and one on the passenger side. One thing I did notice, which I think is really neat, the top of the door here notches down, up and then down again.
Yes.
That's pretty unique. I didn't expect to see that. It could have just been a straight line.
Yeah, that was, again, a feature of the Zephyr convertibles.
And these posts here, these are removable?
Yes,
on both
they are.
sides?
Yeah, so if I was to put the top down, you can easily release these, you store them, top comes down so you have a clean convertible look. But this is one of those cars, although I like most convertibles with the top down, and I've seen this with the top down, I prefer it with the top up. I just think it creates a better look for the car.
So do I. I'm a top up kind of guy. And I like the chrome strip along the side there. Starts out as 3 strips,
right,
and then turns into 1.
Again, part of that Art Deco look.
You got the headlights that were blended into the fenders. It reminds me a lot of the 40 Ford.
Yes, it does, as a matter of fact.
And you've got the flathead V12.
Right.
How much horsepower is that putting out?
110.
110.
Which back for the day was pretty good, not compared to what we know today.
Yeah. Now, this car was previously owned by someone in the Lincoln Continental Owners Club?
Yes. The restoration was actually completed in the year 2000. So 24 years ago, the car was restored like this, and it's been maintained like that ever since. It's won many, many awards under previous ownership.
Yes. And I like the bumper. It's open in the middle here.
Yes.
I didn't expect to see that. That's different. And you've got the painted steel wheels with a little pinstripe in there. That's a silver pinstripe. How about that?
That's the way they came.
And a little trim ring around there.
The big white walls.
The big white walls. Let me step back and we'll get a wide view of the lines of this car. Really pretty car, Steve.
Yeah, it is a big car.
Do you take it out much?
Take it to shows. The only other time I take it out is if I'm going to put gas in the car in preparation of a show. So I don't do a lot of, cruising with it other than to and from shows.
Can I look at the passenger side?
Absolutely.
We saw most of it before, but since we're on this side. What is that switch on the bottom there?
That is a battery disconnect switch that was on the car when I purchased it.
So that was added for safety?
That was added for safety. So every time I'm not driving the car, the battery is disconnected and I have a battery tender hooked up.
What's that bar there? Hanging down.
That is the handle to open the vents between the windshield and the hood. The cowl vent, that's correct.
There you go. So I'm going to ask all these silly questions that you weren't prepared for.
Well, I hope I can provide answers.
Yeah. The hardware looks like it's all been addressed.
It has been. Again, I can't take credit for doing anything. My job is to maintain it. This is pretty much how I bought it. We had to do a few things to clean it up, but what you see is how I acquired it.
Oh, I love it. Let me see the trunk if you don't mind.
Sure.
You can take a peek back there. Before you open it, look at the script on this. Lincoln Zephyr. Very Art Deco looking.
Mm-hmm.
And the taillights.
You've probably seen those taillights on a lot of street rods because it's a very popular look.
Yeah. Wow, the trunk is hidden behind the spare, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This actually tilts out
Oh, okay.
so that you can see the
that.
amount of storage back there.
Look how that works. Clever.
Yep.
And then you got the well that it rests in.
Yes.
Not a lot of room back there. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, you have room for essentials, but
when the top goes down, does it come into this area?
no, it does not. So unless you're driving with multiple passengers, you do have back seat area to store things if you wanted.
How about that? All right. Look at the hardware, the hinges down here. Cool. Very nice.
Thank you.
And I did notice you have a cover for the lock.
Yes.
Look at this. How sweet is that? I think a lot of Ford products had that.
Yes, they did.
Look at the bumper guards. Almost pointed looking. Don't they look pointy like teeth?
They
They look like fangs almost out the back.
Almost.
Let's take a quick peek at the motor if we could.
Sure. One of the unique features is the hood release. I'm sorry.
Yes.
When I first got the car,
This is sweet.
I had to figure this out. So
Let me come around this side.
yeah,
For you.
this swings open, and then the hood raises.
How about that?
You have your oversized horns under there.
What's it sound like?
It's loud.
Is it loud?
I will say it is loud.
Now, what are we looking at here?
So you have a 267 cubic inch flathead 12-cylinder engine.
Lincoln only?
Yes. Well, you know something? That's a good question. I don't know if Ford used it on other models, but to my knowledge, it was Lincoln only. It might have been on a couple of other models, but mostly known for Lincoln back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, unlike modern engines, you know, you have a 12-cylinder engine, you know, stuffed in there, and there's still a lot of room, and you can look through and see the ground.
Yeah.
On modern cars, when I open up a hood, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at anymore.
Look how the top of the radiator is angled so it fits in between this V-shaped hood line.
Exactly.
Wow. Very nicely detailed. It looks like an aluminum head. Or is that just painted?
That's painted, and
Painted?
that is, again, that's the factory colors on this car.
Yeah, it doesn't look like paint. Very nice. I see you got the vents on the inner wheel wells.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing to have. Very nicely detailed.
Thank you. Yeah, the vents came in handy because it allowed us to run the battery tender line through there into the wheel well, so I can hook up the tender without having to raise the hood.
There you go. Over there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes out through there. We fed it down.
Well, let's close this up. I want to show the folks the mechanism for the hood again. The hood release. Look how cool this is. I mean, it's so stylish and functional at the same time. And that's locked now?
That's locked.
Isn't that cool? Tell me what you think about that. Almost looks like a winged bird or something, or a plane, but it actually functions as a lock.
I somehow picture Lincoln engineers having cocktails one night, and somebody draws this design on a cocktail napkin after having a few, and it's stuck.
Isn't that how Caddy pushed through the 59 fins?
Probably.
At a bar somewhere?
Yeah,
on a Friday night?
It's probably how a lot of designs came about.
The split waterfall grill, how cool is that? Talk to me about that grill. Is this like the 40 Ford, or is there some differences here?
There are some differences. It's not quite as high, but again, this is the hallmark of what Lincoln was using for the late 30 Zephyrs.
Yeah. What are your plans with it, Steve?
I just want to enjoy it.
Enjoy the hell out of it?
Enjoy the hell out of it and just maintain it. So someday when I need to sell it, somebody's going to get it looking just like this.
You are the caretaker. You're more than just the owner. It's up to you to take care of it for the next guy.
Yeah, and I take that responsibly.
Well, I'm sure when you take this to shows, there are certain type of shows you take it to. You don't just take it to the corner of Burger King parking lot.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be well received in some shows where the emphasis, for example, might be muscle cars, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
So I do know when I bring this to a show, I'm probably not going to see another one.
I hear you. I agree with you. Well, I love it. I love everything about the color, the style. I've never seen one before. So thank you very much, Steve, for showing us this car.
My pleasure.
Folks, tell me what you think of this car. Leave your comments below. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.